Here I am in Papua New Guinea, just arrived, and met Rob Manson from Tasmania. He works for a company called I Want Energy, and we are just having an interesting talk about batteries and about decentralization of the grid in Australia. He also tells me that Australia is one of the biggest consumers of solar panels. So I'll ask him why. Rob, so why Australia is the biggest, one of the biggest consumers of solar panels?
It's no secret. Australia is one of the sunniest, if not the sunniest places in the world. And Australians love a big house with a big roof. So we love to populate our roofs with solar panels.
Right. So what do you think is market saturation? Does every second, every third, every fourth Australian house now have solar panel?
It varies, but the average is probably 25%. But there are states in Australia, such as South Australia, which has about 50% penetration. But the average is probably about 25%, and it's growing rapidly. In Australia, I've been in this industry for 15 to 18 years, and we are on what we call the solar coaster. So it goes up and down with government policy, but at the moment, the solar coaster is on the up, and we are having a boom with solar panel installations with everybody from houses to big apartment developments, to commercial clients, to industrial clients, to utility scale solar panels, and it's such a boom at the moment. Now that creates another unique problem for us, is that we have a huge amount of solar in the middle of the day when people are at work and they're not using it at home. So what are we going to do about it?
Do you have batteries? What kind of batteries? Does anyone have batteries at home?
Not everybody, but what we call attachment rate. So attachment rate means the amount of solar panel systems at home or in businesses that have a battery attached to them. Now the battery attachment rate has grown incredibly in the last 5 years, and the biggest players in the world in batteries, Tesla, Cattle, Sungrow, are all in the market, and the size of the batteries has grown incredibly on the utility scale and commercial scale. But now we're getting battery subsidies from state governments, so people are being encouraged to put a battery on their house so they can soak up that solar in the middle of the day when they're not home.
Right, and what kind of subsidy do they get?
Depends on the state. Not every state has it, but for instance, Victoria probably has one of the most attractive, along with South Australia, who I mentioned before, and it can probably reduce the cost, upfront installation cost of the battery by 25 to 40%.
That's great. And can you tell me about selling a solar generated energy back to the grid, and what are the challenges?
A lot of challenges, and the challenges are mainly for the grid operator itself. It's not so attractive if you're a homeowner or a business to sell energy back to the grid, because your peak rate of electricity consumption has grown as we have aging coal and gas-fired generators, so they need more maintenance, so the cost of wholesale electricity continues to grow, which affects the retail cost of electricity. But at the same time, they're trying to reduce the amount of feed-in tariff, we call it in Australia, so the energy that you send back to the grid in the middle of the day. The grid does not want it. We tell all of our retail customers, your electricity retailer does not want your solar in the middle of the day, because it has nowhere to go. So what we have to create is what we call solar soak. So we've got to soak that solar up, and the way we can do it is obviously with batteries, but also with demand control, and also with other forms of batteries. Now, battery is not just in your house attached to your wall, it's also in the form of a car. So your electric vehicle is now going to soak up that solar. But not everybody charges their car in the middle of the day, because we drive our cars in the morning to work and then at home at night. So we have these challenges which the rest of the world will face, but Australia's at the forefront, really embracing how to create a decentralized grid so we have less of the hub and spokes that we currently have with your centralized grid and all your poles and wires. A decentralized grid and being able to soak up all that solar on all these massive rooftops is the key to having a stable grid and bringing down electricity prices.
Fantastic. I'm going to share all of this with my LinkedIn subscribers, and I hope they will reach out to you for further advice.
My pleasure. Lovely to meet you.
Likewise.